God, how we bless your name and how we thank you for your mercy and for your grace. Thank you, God, for the privilege that you've given us and the opportunity you've granted us to be at this place at this hour. And so now, God, we ask that you would speak to our hearts in every aspect, in every way possible. Lord, that you would send us a word that would even bring new life. Thank you, Master, that you give us the privilege, you give us the opportunity to really and truly experience new things, God, and to learn new lessons. And so we stand in this place and we're in awe of what you continue to do. And so we ask now that you would speak to our hearts, Holy Spirit, and God, send us the enlightenment, the encouragement. Send us, God, innovation in our thoughts and our ideas. And help us be mindful that everything we do should bring glory and honor to your name. And as always, we ask that the words of our mouth and the meditation of our heart will be acceptable in your sight, God, for you are our strength and you are our Redeemer, in Jesus' name. Amen. Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you. Wherever you are listening to Forward, I am your host, Paul D. Landrew, and this is the day that the Lord has made, and we shall rejoice and we shall be glad in it. The Bible says, "Oh, magnify the Lord with me, and let us exalt his name together." Right here on Forward, on gospelradiotalk.com, and now on Paul D. Landrew Live on YouTube. You can certainly get us every day, 10 a.m. To 12 noon Central Daylight Time, coming to you right here from Houston, Texas. Excited about everything that I believe God is laid forward to our hands and laid forward to our charge. And I am convinced that he is the one who does great and he does mighty things. A lot of times, beloved, we don't understand that as he moves and as God ministers and as he puts us in the place where it is that we're supposed to be, that there's really no one who can say that God leaves us out, or that he abandons us, or that he does not allow us to, if you will, experience growth on every aspect. And so I'm believing that as he does what he does, and as he comes on with what he comes on with, that we're going to be the better for it. This is Relationship Wednesday, and got kind of a little bit of a different format here, making some changes, and all for the better. Sometimes when you have matters come in, we learned several weeks ago that we should get out of frustration and don't allow frustration to be the reigning principle in our situation, but we should learn to turn frustration into a problem. Because when you have a problem, the problem brings with it a solution, and that's what we're looking for. If you're going to have a solution-based life, if you're going to have a life that's really going to create for you a way forward, then you're going to have to find the stamina, you're going to have to find the tenacity to really and truly take action and to do some things, and to really maybe go against what has been traditional for you. And one of the things that we found here at Forward, especially when you're attempting to do as many things as we are here, because we believe the message is what's important. God has certainly given us favor in terms of means. He's given us favor in terms of methods, but certainly he has given us favor in terms of message. And so I'm excited, I'm delighted that he is going to do this in a magnificent way. You should have, some of you probably received the link already. A video has been shared around that we're no longer on Facebook Live. We are actually broadcasting live from our own YouTube channel. And that simply says that we're going to be able to communicate much more efficiently and much more effectively, probably with a little bit more better presentation because of the equipment that we'll be using. And so from one day to the next, God has taken us to another place. And so I want you to let us, and I'll say it this way, with no intention of arrogance or narcissism or ego, any of that kind of stuff. Let us be an example of what it means. If you're going to fail playing, you fail forward and move forward. Because that's what becomes important. Don't let anything get you down to the point to where you stop moving in the direction that God would have you. And so you can get us right here at Gospel Radio Talk on the app. You can get us on YouTube, and certainly we'll have those links up. And I want to encourage you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We have big plans for that in terms of many lessons and mini series, M-I-N-I. Mini, and that could be M-A-N-Y mini, either one, but we have many planned that we want to share with you. Simple coaching things, and that stuff won't cost you anything. We've got our websites up. People are asking for, how do I get this? How do I get this? I want to get this information. I want to get the power words called. I want to get all of this kind of stuff. And when you say that, then we have to respond. That's a problem that's presented, and we have to provide a solution. And I think for the people who have been, probably some of you for a couple of years, asking, what's the best way to get the information that you provide, or that God gives to you to give to us? And certainly within next week, we're going to have that solution in place. You can go in, and at your heart's desire, you can secure that information. So we're excited about what's going on here at Forward, and what God is doing with us, and especially here on Relationship Wednesday, as we get ready to bring on our hostess who is here, and we sit here, and when you see what you see in front of you, beloved, is a work in progress. It is us doing what we do in the context of our own assignments in order to make sure that what you see comes to pass. Will is behind the scenes. He's efficient and effective, being creative on the spot. And sometimes you got to learn how to be innovative on the spot and make some things happen. But let's get started with this relationship discussion, because I know some of you want to hear about that. But she's always has a hand and a head and a heart for these matters in terms of being discussion. And so we want to welcome her, as always, our co-hostess, Minister Marilyn. Hey,
what up?
How you doing?
Wonderful. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing all right.
Great.
I know it's been a whirlwind 24 hours.
Indeed it has.
Okay, all right. It's been a whirlwind 24 hours. It's been something to see what it is that God will do.
Absolutely.
And what it is that God will do. And if I could just tie in, just do a little segue, from the experience on yesterday. And on Tuesday show when we were doing personal empowerment, people would text us and say, y'all on y'all side. It's like, y'all side. But it's like, you know what? We are. And we have equipment, and our stuff is right. It looks right to us, but it's not coming across right here. So it was a very, very, and let's be honest, emotional time.
Absolutely.
Because you're trying to press forward.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
Because you know that there are people who are mature enough to say, look, really what we're looking for is the information. We know what both of y'all look like.
Absolutely.
So we can look at you, we can turn the phone to the side for a minute, and we know you're going to get it fixed. But when you think about that, for you, and you look 24 hours back and look at where we are now, what was the takeaway? What was the takeaway?
So many things. Again, the very first thing is the principle that we discovered even since we've launched Forward, is to keep moving forward and to turn our frustrations into problems, because the minute we identify it as a problem, it by default creates a solution somewhere for us to actually find it.
By default.
And so, I mean, and I think that was the beauty and the excitement of it. And you can say, how do you get excited in the midst of, what looks to be chaos or confusion?
Exactly.
But it is because my mind was fixed, not even on the problem anymore. It was on the search for the solution.
It was on the search for the solution.
And so it was great. It was great.
You and I were talking earlier this morning, and we're going to segue this into relationship.
Absolutely.
Believe it or not. You and I were talking earlier this morning, and we were saying that you made the statement. You said, previously, at some point in time before in your life, you would have just been all out in another place.
Just
what's different? What's different about the Maryland today than the Maryland who would have been all out there somewhere?
Oh, so much. I'm telling you. So and hear me for the people that are listening. Experience your frustration. Give it its minute. Give it its minute. Don't reduce it. Don't minimize it. Don't eliminate it. Give it its minute, because then it becomes the fuel that forces you or propels you into saying, oh, this is a problem.
Wow.
And once you identify that, so the frustration has its place. It has its place. It's 60 seconds, but it has its place.
But it only gets that amount of time.
And then it automatically, if you allow it, becomes a problem that by default says to you, there's a solution in the earth realm somewhere.
And so what we said was is that when you think about this, really, I tell people who experience trauma, feel what you feel while you're feeling it.
Absolutely.
Because one day you're going to wake up and you're not gonna feel that way.
Absolutely.
It hurts now,
Absolutely.
and it bothers you now.
Yes.
But I think you said something just then. You said it only gets 60 seconds. So you've decided to time what access frustration has to your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It can't
Wow.
go 61 seconds. It can't go, it can't go 60 point dot 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 dot. It can't. It has 60 seconds. And I'm gonna give it my best. I'm gonna give it my best in that 60.
It's gonna get the best 60 seconds.
The
it
best,
can get.
and that's it. That's it. And then it has the exit stage left.
Wow.
And we say, okay, now here's the problem. So because I've identified this problem, now there must be a solution.
There must be a solution. And then the thing about it is, I think we said yesterday, when everything stopped and everything was off the air, then we made the statement, okay, now let's fix this.
Now let's fix this.
So we won't have this tomorrow. We can take this off the table, and this will no longer be an issue tomorrow. We can take this off the table.
And you were saying even before we start the show, I pray that we may have been on, but I pray that individuals, because we said how transparent we are.
Right.
And I always live by this. Every word has to be tested, and the principles that we're giving, the information that we're providing. You people, our viewers, our audience, our family, everyone, the community that has come together, the forward community. That's what I say. Our audience base is a community. Our forward community now sees how this is playing out right before their eyes. So it may not be a mic issue, or it may not be an internet connection issue that you may have, or it may not be a camera issue that you have, or it may not. But whatever your issue is, you can apply these principles and still come out. Every time we come on, anybody that tunes in sees that we've put forth effort.
Exactly.
Not to just to change stuff. We've put forth effort to make things better.
And when you said that, you said every word has to be tested.
Has to be tested.
And that's where people have to make sure that they have this hierarchy of relationship.
Absolutely.
That are built correctly, because for us, okay, our determination is in the fact that our relationship with God is solid enough that we're able to hear what He has said, tie into the instructions as well as the information, and realize that He's made a promise that won't fail.
That will not fail.
So we can say a word,
Yes.
expect that the word is going to be tested, and then expect that we're going to pass the test.
And expect that we're going to pass the test. There is
Because of our relationship.
But there is no teacher that gives a test to a class that she has not provided the information over and over again, has not given them homework, but that's the behind the scenes stuff, before she actually administers a test.
And that's the thing. That's the thing when you start talking about that says that instructor has always covered the information.
Absolutely.
That instructor has always covered the information, has always covered what it is that's being said. And you got that.
Absolutely.
So once that's covered, I mean, you're saying, hey, look, you know what? This thing right here is part of what we've already been over.
Absolutely.
The issue is not whether the instructor covers the information, the teacher covers the information. The issue is, did the teacher have your attention while the information was being covered?
By the information was being administered, while it was being delivered to you. That's the thing. And again, we've been on Info Junkie. Not just the information, but with every bit of information, there is instruction in there. That's the way the show is completely designed. Every bit of information we give, then we give principles. We give step-by-step instructions how to ensure that you come to the successful outcome that we've given in terms of the information that we've provided.
And that part right there, when you can really do that, and you can really say, you know what, it's because of that relationship that I have with God first. And we talk about that, that we make no bones about that, in terms of that it's necessary that relationship is solid. It's
Absolutely.
necessary that relationship is firm and foundational, because we can't really do anything if the relationship is not firm and
Absolutely.
foundational. Now, in terms of getting into this relationship, we want to set this up and we're actually going to go to I'll go to a break in just a minute. We'll set that up in just a minute. But we talk about today. We want to really get into this notion of that relationships. Okay, that relationships. We've talked about Adam. Okay,
Yes.
and we talked about how Adam has this relationship with God, and God has this relationship with Adam.
Mhm.
But God deals with Adam in the individuality of that relationship, okay, and the context of Adam grows now. It grows, and there's Eve is added, and all of these things, and so we understand that Adam then has to move forward in relationship.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Adam has to move forward in relationship.
Absolutely.
So now, with Adam moving forward in relationship, and we know that there was a degradation of society.
Correct.
And things happened, and the Bible said that the sin of man began to stink.
Yes.
In the nostrils of God.
Absolutely.
And so God did a washing,
Mm-hmm.
as we know as the flood.
Yes.
Okay. So he washes now and gets the flood out and gets the sin out, and he starts over with Noah.
Yes.
Okay, so now when he starts over with Noah, now all of a sudden, God he's got another relationship that he is going to establish, and we want to look at how these relationships evolve.
Yes.
And so we want to talk about how this I guess this intrapersonal relationship that God establishes with one of the heroes of the faith, to where we go in and say, okay, look, as we talk about this, that God makes it clear that he wants to set up some things with some people, and he wants to put some things in place with some people, so that you and I can have this relationship with him, okay, and then we get ready to move forward from there.
Yes.
So we're gonna take a break, and then we'll be right back on forward.
Let's go!
Moving forward, moving forward, moving forward, moving, moving forward, moving forward, moving forward, moving. Never stop moving, never stop striving, never stop reaching, reaching high. You keep on rising, keep elevating, take the next steps of your life.
Moving forward, your future's waiting and anticipating. So keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on moving. Let's go!
And the truth of the matter is, most people will not notice the changes that need to be made because they are so subtle. He is not surprised by the need that exists in your life. He's not put off by the deficiency. He's not bothered by the discrepancy. He is not offended because of the stuff that you got going on. He's simply saying, I've already made adjustments. I've already made allowances, rather, for you to become what it is that you need to become. All I need you to do is to be ready to make the shift.
Welcome back. We're back here at Forward, and we are uh, grateful that God is really doing some things, and we got some benefits and stuff that we're looking at here, and we certainly want your feedback. We want your comments, and as we get into this discussion. Ms. Marilyn, we started in behind this before we showed the preparation period, and said we wanted to ignite this thing as it related to God's engagement with Abraham.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because this is relationship.
Absolutely.
Okay, relationship, and so it's God's engagement with Abraham, and anybody who knows us, what you have to know is that that everything we do is biblically based. It is Bible principles. So whenever we talk about relationship, it's going to be rooted in the Bible, whether it's a professional or personal relationship, marital relationship, business relationship, spiritual relationship. Everything has to find this root.
Absolutely.
The principles of God allow us to study the Word of God and then apply it to the specifics of our situation.
Yes.
So that's where we are. So God engages Abraham. He engages Abraham, and here's the thing about it is that when God engages Abraham, remember now in Genesis, he talks about the first thing he had. He talks about that he and Adam, their relationship was carried out in isolation.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Because it was just God and Adam.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, with Abraham, what's the first thing that God tells Abraham to do?
To leave.
What does he tell him to do? He says what?
He says, get out of your country, leave your
Wow.
relatives and your father's house.
Wow. Just leave.
Leave.
Now, so here's my thing about it is that if this first step with Abraham, because he's getting ready to establish a relationship with Abraham that is going to build, okay, to where he out of him births a nation.
Yes.
Okay, so isolation obviously needs to happen for a couple reasons.
Come on.
Number one, I can get better instructions in isolation.
Yes.
Okay. Number two, it's to develop intimacy. Now, because see, here's the deal. Adam had no history before his relationship with God.
Okay.
God created Adam.
Yes.
So Adam has no history before his relationship with God. Okay? Abraham has history before his relationship with God.
Come on.
Okay? So here's the thing about it for somebody in relationship. The question is this. How many folk are struggling in relationships because they cannot isolate themselves from their historical relationships and trying to carry it forward into their current relationship?
Wow. That's major right there.
Hmm?
That's really, really major. Because I think, almost just automatic, that's where some relationships fail right there.
Wow. That's it.
It's because I carry everything along.
Everything.
I mean, every stuff that I don't even want.
I carry.
I still carry it right along with me to the next relationship.
And the thing about it is that Abraham, okay, he has a history.
Yes.
So he has a relationship history. Adam had no relationship history. Okay, there are not many people who are of adult age, okay, who not had some type of relationship.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
the thing about it is that it's the carry forward.
Carry forward.
Okay, it's the carry forward. It's the fact that I bring forward with me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, whatever this relationship thing is, or whatever this history. Now the thing about it is, he says now you got to leave. Here's the deal. You got to leave your father's house.
Yes.
Okay, leave your family,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to go to a land that I'll show you.
Yes.
Is that what he says?
Absolutely.
So now all of a sudden, it's this isolation, and then what God says is after isolation, the other principle there is create distance.
Create distance.
Wow. Because this thing about it is how am I supposed to make sure that as I'm building relationships, how does this translate over them? That if God wants me in terms of isolation so he can give me instructions, and then there can be intimacy or closeness, okay? And that to create distance from what I have known in relationships, okay? And that's a problem, because if I can't create distance, okay, from what I have known in relationships, then I am more apt to re-engage
Absolutely.
with that same type of relationship.
Yes. Yes.
Because I'm not isolated.
And I'm familiar with it.
I'm familiar with
I'm familiar with it, especially when you go to something that is unfamiliar, a place that is unfamiliar. The first thing you look for is something that you can identify with, something familiar. And if you don't create enough distance, the smallest thing, can bring your mind back to, as you said, your history of what that looked like the first time in your life. Wow. And then you grab all of the baggage and put it in this new place.
Wow. And so this whole idea of creating history, this whole idea of saying, look, I'm a person who really has this thing going on to the extent that I can't break away. I can't get away from these types of people, or from these types of relationships, or these types of situations. I can't get away from it.
Absolutely.
And so I am prone now. I am liable to just repeat some things.
Yes, absolutely. Okay? Absolutely.
I'm liable to just repeat some things.
Absolutely.
And that's not really and truly what it is that I want to do. Mm-mm. So when God gets in isolation, what frightens us? What frightens us about isolation?
Again, it is not having anything to connect to that seems familiar to me.
Wow.
You understand?
Gotcha.
Again, we're accustomed to familiarity. We, by nature, are accustomed to some type of companionship.
Okay.
And a lot of times, our companionship to us it's something that we can see. So to say I'm in isolation, it looks like I'm there by myself. Mm-hmm. I almost disregard the fact that God is there, and it's His command that He's given.
Okay.
So you're nervous about being there. You're uncomfortable. You're jittery, and then sometimes if you're not focused or understand. Well, I don't even want to say understand, because Abraham didn't necessarily understand his reason for isolation. But obedience has to take place, especially when it's God that's talking. Because if you get to a place of isolation, then your mind starts to wander. Because again, you're looking for something that looks familiar and something that you can grab a hold to and hold on to. And so if you don't have anything tangible, you do have your memory.
Wow. If I don't have anything tangible, I do have my memory.
Exactly. And that can be dangerous sometimes.
Wow. Because your memory can become tangible.
Absolutely.
And pull me right back.
Pull me right back.
This thing here of isolation, and then this thing of creating distance. I was writing some things down. Mm-hmm. That we have to, there's several areas that we have to create distance. Okay. We have to create a spiritual distance.
Okay.
We need to create a mental distance. You just finished talking about memory.
Yes.
Okay. We have to create an emotional distance.
Absolutely.
We have to create a social distance.
Yes.
Okay. Now, these all things translate into habits, behaviors, and practices. Okay.
Yes.
Because when I am working to get past some things, when I'm working to get beyond some things, when I'm working to get the issue is that I cannot get this relationship to work because I've not created distance.
Wow.
Okay. It's this notion of creating distance, and people create distance in different ways.
Wow.
Okay. Because not everybody creates distance the same way.
Absolutely. I agree.
Okay?
I agree.
There are some people who can be around people who they've been in relationship with. And it doesn't necessarily, it could be platonic,
Absolutely.
but that the relationship has run its course. They can still be around those people and not be affected by those people.
Oh, absolutely. We do it a lot.
You're around them, but you're not affected by
Not
them.
affected by
because
them at
because
all.
the idea is that if I'm around you but I'm not affected by you, then in essence I have created distance.
I have created distance.
Now it may not be a physical distance,
Absolutely.
but it is an emotional distance.
Absolutely.
It is a mental distance.
Yes.
And so sometimes people don't understand that just because you remove yourself from a situation doesn't mean you remove yourself from the situation.
Come on.
I know what I said.
Say it again. Say it again.
Just because you remove yourself from the situation doesn't mean that you remove yourself from the situation, because you can move away to a different address, city, state, country, and still be right smack dab in the middle
Absolutely.
of where you were,
that was
of where you left.
That was one of the things you taught me 12 years ago when I first moved here. And
Wow.
and again, it almost felt like had moved to another land, but my mind and my memory was still in Mississippi. Thus, my actions and my practices of Mississippi were now in Houston.
Wow.
And I remember you saying to me, you said, you haven't left yet. And I said, but I live here. You said, but Mississippi lives here. You're here, but you're still living in Mississippi.
Wow. Wow.
And it took the time again to work myself out of that, because I brought Mississippi, all the people and situations and whatever else I was trying to separate myself, I brought them right along with me.
As you were speaking, I was writing here that the power of memory will recreate what it is familiar with.
Wow.
Okay? Because memory, you're like these little cute buzzwords. Okay? Memory is magnetized.
Ooh.
Okay? So when you have this notion that memory is magnetized, that means it draws, it attracts what it wants.
Absolutely.
And so you'll be in a different city, state, or country living the exact same life.
Absolutely. Living the exact same life, and you're saying, I'm trying to move away, I'm trying to distance myself from these problems, whatever the case may be. I want to start fresh, I want to start new. I've isolated myself, I've left my friends, I've left my family, but you've taken all of the memories along with you.
All of the memories.
All of the memories along with you.
And here's the deal. And you can yearn for that.
Yes.
So much that it will alter your mood.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You suffer depression. I'm serious. You schizophrenic. All kinds of things.
Exactly.
All kinds of things. Absolutely.
Exactly. And this other thing is that when you have this notion of memories and these things you're doing, that it's hard to create this distance. Mm-hmm. And so we've got about 6 or 7 things on here in terms of distance that we're saying that you got to work on creating, because I cannot get to this place. A lot of us we want to talk about relationships.
Yes.
We want to talk about relationships, at these nice superficial traditional methods. But let's be honest, and let's put this out here. Okay. That when you have these relationships, even you put marriage relationships out there, 50 and 60 years, those folks are different folk than we're folk.
Oh, yes.
Okay?
Absolutely.
And that's the thing what you have to understand. Their memories are different.
Yes.
Their forming and their formation is different.
Yes.
Okay? And so they have gravitated, locked onto, hooked into a place that a lot of us can't identify with. Okay? But here's the deal. When I come up and say that I want to work on me, because God says to Abraham, said, look, I need for you to isolate yourself because I'm about to give you some instructions. I'm about I want to be intimate with you in terms of closeness. But watch this here. I want to make you a promise.
Oh. Say it again.
Yeah, I want to give you some instructions. I want to display intimacy. Want to be close to you. But I want to make you a promise.
Wow.
Now watch here. Here's the thing about it. God established a relationship with Abraham, giving him instructions, making him a promise, giving him a prediction, and giving him, watch this now, cause and consequence.
That's it. Oh, wow. Yes.
You got me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay. So now he says there's cause and consequence.
Yes.
Here's the deal.
Wow.
Too many relationships don't have, watch this now, too many relationships don't have people who show up with a promise,
Don't you say it.
a prediction,
Don't you say
a
it.
cause,
Don't you say
and a
it.
consequence because they received instructions from the intimacy with God. We might need to look for a commercial in a few minutes, okay?
You said it.
Yes, huh?
Wow.
So we bring to stuff. And I'll skip forward and say this while the Spirit is moving. Okay? Abraham, we'll just use Abraham. We'll have to get into the name change thing.
Absolutely.
Abraham and Lot couldn't stay together. Because Lot was not a part of the original equation. Number one. Lot didn't have the same instructions that Abraham had.
Absolutely.
Didn't have the same intimacy that Abraham had. Didn't have the promise on his life that Abraham had. Okay? And here's the thing about it is, Lot was okay to stay. Watch this now. Lot was okay to stay. Watch this now. Lot was okay to stay as long as he stayed under Abraham's shadow.
Come on. Yeah, that's good right there.
But what happened was when he had to get out from under Abraham's shadow,
Yes.
when he wanted to compete, when his blessings that had come from Abraham began to get in his mind and his head, and now all of a sudden he is as, whatever as Abraham.
Right.
Now all of a sudden, watch this now, I got to compete with you because of what you got because of me. Are you hearing what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh.
So now Abraham and Lot are tripping because they're trying to figure out what in the world is going on. And Abraham, and God says to Abraham, look, why are you tripping? And Abraham says to Lot, man, why are we tripping? Because here's the deal when we get to platonic relationships, okay? Why are we tripping? Pick an area that you think your gifting qualifies you for. Come on. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Pick an area that you think your gifting qualifies you for. And whichever area, I'm going to let you pick first, and whichever area you pick, I'm good with. Okay? A lot of times, man, we have folks that come in, and they come in with this situation, it's like, my God, why in the world are you coming and you don't understand? I am like I am where I am how I am, because I've had my period of isolation to receive my instructions during intimate time with God. He's given me a promise, made a prediction, told me the cause and the consequence. And so now I'm moving forward in instructions. You coming along as an attachment. And that's the thing that gets us.
And even while you were talking, because like you said, Lot benefited as long as he was attached to Abram.
Come on.
But the minute he detached from Abram, watch this. Abram is the one that has had, again, like you said, the intimacy, the isolation, the time, the instructions, everything. He's talked about, he's given him the cause and the consequence, he's given them the promise, all of those things. Lot has had nothing. So how are you competing with me? You don't even know. Here's the deal. You don't know where we are or where we're going. and you don't have anyone to give you the instructions to get there. You haven't had any of the things that I've had. As long as you stay with me, by default, you're attached to my blessing and my
By
promise.
default. I'll bless those. Come on.
Who bless you?
That's what the word says now. That's what we're reading this morning.
Wow.
Okay.
That's good.
And so this whole idea of
That's
relationship, and I don't care, and watch this now. Use it in whatever you want to use it in. Because people want you to talk about, well, I don't know how to keep. I can tell you how to do a whole lot of stuff. Okay? Some of it I'm good at, some of it I'm not good at. I can tell you how to do it, but I'm not good at all of it.
Absolutely.
But here's the thing about it is that when God has set somebody down, he says to Abraham, look, this promise is on your life. When he sets this up, now all of a sudden it's, look, I'm attaching you to somebody. All you got to do is be happy with the position you have. Because everything you got came because of your attachment to Abraham.
Absolutely.
So you can't let what you get then want to cause and create you to have some type of attitude, mindset, and disposition as if now you got to go run something. It's not even about that.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
That's real good. Right
So
there,
here's
Dr.
this thing here. Here's this thing here. So we talk about this creating distance, because now Abraham is required to create distance. All right, Abraham is required to create distance. We get ready. We're gonna take just a brief break for commercial, and we're gonna be right back. You're listening to Forward.
Let's go!
Moving forward, moving forward, moving forward, moving, moving forward, moving forward, moving forward, moving. Never stop moving, never stop striving, never stop reaching, reaching high. You keep on rising, keep elevating, take the next steps of your life.
Moving forward, your future's waiting and anticipating. So keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on moving.
And the truth of the matter is, most people will not notice the changes that need to be made because they are so subtle. He is not surprised by the need that exists in your life. He's not put off by the deficiency. He's not bothered by the discrepancy. He is not offended because of the stuff that you got going on. He's simply saying, I've already made adjustments. I've already made allowances, rather, for you to become what it is that you need to become. All I need you to do is to be ready to make the shift.
All right, guys, welcome back to Forward, and I'm your host, Paul D. Landrew, here with Minister Marilyn Haynes, and we're talking about this Relationship Wednesday, right here, whether you're listening on GospelRadioTalk.com or whether you are with us live on Facebook. We want to, on YouTube, you can get it through the Facebook. Just click the link, and it'll take you right to the YouTube channel. I want you to come on, and you can get your comments and your remarks and get all of those things in, and then we can go from there. So we left off talking about creating distance.
Yes.
Okay, and there were some areas that we that we have really kind of looking at to say, how is it that we create distance, and what areas we create distance?
Mm-hmm.
And one of those areas was spiritual.
Absolutely.
Okay, was spiritual, and so this creating spiritual distance. Okay, because we said spiritual, we said mental, emotional, social, in terms of our habits, our behaviors, and our practices. Okay.
Absolutely.
And so if somebody was out there that was talking about creating distance,
mm-hmm.
okay, and we would say that the first area you create distance is you create distance spiritually.
Okay.
Now somebody might say, well, what does that mean? Because you can't say that we created distance from what we learned, from what we were taught.
Okay.
We didn't create distance from that.
Absolutely.
Okay. We practice what it was that we learned.
Absolutely.
Okay. We put that into practice, right?
Mm-hmm.
But here's the deal: the God of our foreparents, He's the same God of Elijah, right?
Absolutely.
The distance is created when I create my own experience with Him.
Oh, wow. Say it again.
Okay? I create distance, okay, when I create my own experience with God. Okay? Which simply says that I have my own level of relationships. I have my own level of interaction. I have my own level that I'm doing. And I do this thing. Okay? I do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I now say that the distance that I have, my father had a relationship with God.
Absolutely.
And he did what he did based on his experience with God.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
I have a relationship with God, but I have another experience.
Come on. Sound like a personal experience living.
You see what I'm saying, though?
Pops would say you got to know Him for
You
yourself.
gotta know it for yourself. Exactly.
Yes.
So you have so I am not creating. When I say create a distance spiritually,
Uh-huh.
I'm saying I've got to have my own experience with God.
Yes. Yes.
And I cannot have my own experience with God until I create or have an experience in the world I live in that may be different from the world I grew up in.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
That's good right there.
Okay?
That's good right there.
Because the distance I have is to say, look, God, I want to make sure that I am that I am having a relationship with you that it's meaningful, okay, and that it is developmental, and that I am able to get things done. I am able to experience you in a way that is relevant to my world.
Wow.
Okay?
Relevant.
So now, the question then becomes this. What's spiritually relevant in your world now that wasn't relevant when you grew up? See? I mean, you don't have time to go through all of that.
Absolutely. No, absolutely.
What does it do?
Wow. But it then makes me know God personally.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because we learn the principles. We learn how to experience God, if you will, on a larger scale. But then when you learn to experience Him on a personal scale, You
Yes.
understand? It really builds relationship between you and God. We always talk about, we made it off of grandmama's prayers and big mama's prayers and somebody prayed for. Absolutely. But then I've got to get to a place where now I have prayers.
Right.
You understand? Because
Right.
now I have a spiritual experience
Mm-hmm.
with him. I build a spiritual relationship because now I've distanced myself from relying on Big Mama, Big Papa, Pops, Little. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I have to go into, as we said, isolate myself, get in a place to be intimate with him, to receive instructions, to know what the promise is, to know that there is a cause and consequence. Distance myself from that to then build that relationship.
And when I'm looking at if I'm looking at from my ancestors and my forefathers,
Absolutely.
Okay, here's the deal. I can do that because the horizontal time.
Come on, there you go. There
Okay.
you go.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
The horizontal time comes into play.
Yes.
Now, the farther away I get from that time when they were the sum total of my experiences and information and instructions I have, the farther I get away from that, the more I have to develop, okay, and you have that increasing, okay, vertical time.
Yes.
And so that means the older I get, the more experience I ought to gain, which means it breeds a better relationship.
Breeds a better relationship.
And so whether I am somebody who's saying, look, you got this person or that person, or you're about to be married, or you're about to go into business, or you're about to get a new job, or you're about to do whatever the case may be, you got to understand that vertical relationship is extremely important.
It's very important.
And it says here that I've got to develop, okay, I've got to develop and create my own experience with God, okay, if I'm going to create a spiritual distance. Now, here's the thing about it. If you talk about relationships in terms of creating distance. God says, look, I want you to create some distance between where you are and where you've been and where you come. For somebody who's going through, you got the trauma of relationships, that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
You still have to create distance.
Absolutely.
A spiritual distance. Okay. Now, because if I'm getting to know God better, I create, and it's all based on what I've learned about God with dealing with other people. I create a distance when I create my own experience with God. And here's the thing about it. If I'm trying to grow and develop past something, okay, then I have to develop, okay, another perspective.
Oh, wow.
Okay, about, watch this now, another dimension of God.
Wow. That's good.
Okay. Too often, people are not understanding that I've got to have another perspective, and I've got to have another dimension of God. I've got about another dimension of God.
Yes.
Because some people only know Him one way.
Come on.
Okay. Some people don't know Him one way, and so we've got to have people who know Him another way.
Absolutely.
And I've got to be able to understand that I've got to know God another way. Okay? I've got to know Him. I've got to know Him another way. And so when I'm looking at this, and it's when God says to Abraham, look, isolate yourself, and you're gonna have to create some distance.
Yes.
Okay? So this whole notion of really making sure that I become who it is I'm supposed to become is that I have to create some spiritual distance, and the people we're raised a certain way, but we become who God has intended for us to become based on the experiences that we have.
Based on the experiences that we
And
have.
too many people have not had the same enough time to have that isolation, that individual, that instruction, and that intimacy that comes along with making sure that we are where we're supposed to be with God.
That's good.
Does that make sense?
That's good. That's
Okay.
good.
So it's creating spiritual distance. Let's talk about now mental. How do you create mental distance? Okay. Mental is always associated with thinking. Okay. All right. So if it's thought, then the way you create mental distance is that you have to increase. Watch this now.
Come on.
You're learning. You have to increase your learning.
Wow.
Okay? That means you have to learn something else. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Okay. What classes, all right, have you taken? I'm not just talking about in school.
Mm-hmm.
But what classes have you taken that have really and truly impacted your mental state in life and in school? That created a distance.
Major distance. Again, the association with friends, dealing with situations, thinking about how to handle situations. We had an uncle, rest his soul, he used to say, speak once and think twice.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I didn't realize that was biblical till later on. Be slow to speak, swift to hear.
Yeah.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And so think when he said that, speak once and think twice, it is the thinking. You call it 3-second pause. Think before you respond.
Mm-hmm.
And then think about it after you've said it.
Exactly.
And so again, when you start to put those things into practice, it creates or it distance you again from a lot of things that you would find yourself hung up in, or relationships that you would find yourself hung up in where they're very difficult to get out of.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're mentally charged, if you're thinking, if you have that enablement, as you talked about our definition of thinking for 2015, you know, then we can put that distance and come to a better outcome.
And you put that up there. Here's another thing: is that you have to not only increase your learning, but you have to embrace every opportunity to broaden your knowledge.
Every opportunity.
Okay, and then the other thing is expose your ideas to an opposing view. Okay.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When you expose your ideas to an opposing view, then all of a sudden you find yourself where it's like, hey, this right here is something that I've held on to for years. Because there's some stuff that you hold on to for years, it has absolutely positively no credence or credibility or clout currently.
Absolutely.
It may be something that impresses you because it is a principle of familiarity. But the question becomes is how do I move from just having this principle of familiarity to testing this to see if every word
gotta be tested. It has to be tested.
So the mental thing is I'm increasing my learning. I'm embracing every opportunity to broaden my knowledge. I'm exposing my ideas to an opposing view. Okay, and then the other thing when I'm creating distance, this mental distance now, the other thing I have to do is I've got to engage with brilliant people.
Wow. Hence the reason we sit here.
Thank you very much. There you go. Okay, I've got to engage with brilliant people.
Absolutely.
So when you come in and you say, okay, this is where I am, and I'm ready to engage with brilliant people, then all of a sudden I'm exposing myself, okay, to a greater viewpoint and more knowledge. Okay,
Absolutely.
I can do simple things. Read more. Okay, that kind of stuff is where you come in and then understand that just because somebody doesn't agree with you doesn't mean there's nothing they can teach you.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I gotta create distance. I gotta make sure that this distance that I have between where I am and and where I'm going, it's extremely important.
Wow.
It's extremely important. It cannot be the fact that I am limiting myself, in such a way that I don't allow some mental distance between
Absolutely.
where I am.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I would say even with that, if I may plug Dr. Landrew, take some time. If you can't do it every week, do it at least once or twice a week. Take 30 minutes and pick up something of substance and read it. I'm not talking about Facebook. I'm not talking about Twitter or Instagram or any of whatever those other social media sites are. Pick up a book. Pick up, they do still deliver newspapers. Pick up a newspaper. Pick up a magazine. Get an article and just and read that. And think about how you fit into that. How it challenges where you are. Remember, we talked about our calls. What is our cause? If you've identified a cause, then grab some material that's going to help you successfully reach and maintain within the cause that you've identified.
Wow.
So when you talk about mental distance yourself from where you currently are mentally. Feed your brain. Energize yourself based upon, again, the cause that you've identified. Trust me, there will be some major distance put there. You'll still be in the same location, but your mind has already set yourself on a journey to reach the thing that you're set out to reach.
And this whole, and people will be saying, okay, what does this have to do with relationships?
Right.
It has everything to do with relationships.
Right.
Because our problem is that we are so caught up on the inter that we spend very little time on the intra.
Wow.
And then when you hear people say, I hear people say all the time, I got to get myself together. So what does that mean? Okay, seriously.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Yes.
You got to get yourself together. What does that mean? Because here's my deal. If you're not working on you, or if you're working on you and don't have a plan to work on you, you still got an issue.
You're just saying stuff.
You're absolutely positively beyond a shadow of doubt. You're just saying.
You're
things.
just saying stuff.
It's not anything that's going to come out of it, because there has to be a plan. There has to be tangible action. There has to be things that you're doing, that things that are happening that folk can say honestly and truly, this is my plan. Every day I'm reading for 30 minutes.
Absolutely.
I'm reading for an hour.
Absolutely.
Something that is not within my norm.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay? I'm not just looking at this quick fix stuff and the cute stuff that we're saying, and it just goes from there. It just, I'm not a 140 character person. I got to have something more of substance. I got to listen to something of substance. I got to listen to something that's going to challenge me. I got to listen to something that's going to push me to another place. I've absolutely, positively got to do that.
Wow.
And until I'm really honest with myself in terms of putting that into practice, it's going to be extremely difficult. Okay? It's going to be extremely difficult for me to really say, I'm ready to go on this journey to produce this life where these relationships are built around and be successful at it. Wow. Because of the ups and the downs.
Because of the ups and the downs.
Because there's a challenge, even with intimacy, there's a challenge when you have instructions. There's a challenge there. That even when there's a promise on your life, when there's been predictions made, when you've been given the cause and the consequence, and you still crazy.
With a capital K.
You're still crazy.
Yes.
So my advocation is that until we can really start and get a Bible-based model about how relationships should even begin. God begins a relationship with Adam in isolation.
Yes.
And Adam had no history.
Yes. Yes.
God begins a relationship with Abraham in isolation.
Yes.
And Abraham had a history.
Come on. That's good.
Okay?
That's good.
And so God is saying, look, if I'm going to get you on the track, watch this now, if I'm going to get you on the track to where it is that you say you're supposed to be, then what I need for you to understand is simply this. That is that I've got to isolate you from some stuff. I've got to isolate you from your own, from the experiences that others have had, and they've, power word, transferred them to you.
Yes, yes, yes.
And now you know me based on their testimony.
Come on.
I've got to isolate you mentally. There's some things you need to do. Increase your learning. Embrace every opportunity to broaden your knowledge. Expose your ideas to an opposing view. Engage with brilliant people. Practice thought replacement. I wrote that down.
That's good. Don't leave me out. I need
Okay.
points.
Practice thought replacement.
That's good. That's good right there.
Now here's the thing. If I'm going to have thought replacement, okay, if I'm going to do this, this is what it says. Okay? It says that every thought that I have, challenge it.
Wow.
Ooh. Come on.
Wow.
Challenge every thought.
Jesus.
Somebody might say, well, is that really practical for you to do that?
If you think like you think it is.
Is it? But there's always a theologian that's going somewhere that says, well, what happens if I'm going to challenge that I love God? I said, that's easy for me to challenge that I love God. That thought, it's easy. What you mean? Paul David, why do you love him?
Come on. Come on. Come on.
How do you love him? When do you love him?
Come on.
I love God. You don't
love God? What's wrong with
What's
you?
wrong with you? Huh? So you got this whole thing out here that says, hey, look, I'm looking at this, and my whole idea is to say, look, I'm challenging everything because I don't want to get caught up in a situation, in a scenario where I am not able to grow.
Got to.
Because I've got to love God beyond what yesterday's situation was.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
See, most of our love for God is based on certainty.
Yep.
Okay? When you can love God in the uncertainty.
Come on.
And that's when you get to be where you some love.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, because most of us, our view of a love of God is based on our view of a love of each other.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
we're not, we ain't really doing all this kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
We just love it on each other.
Absolutely.
So we just love God like we love it on each other.
Yes.
And God is going
Yes.
like, yeah, you know what? That's really ain't good enough.
Not good enough at all.
That's filial. I mean, that's friendship, or that's eros, and not in terms of sexual activity, but in terms of pleasure.
Absolutely.
That we love God for pleasure.
Yes.
That ain't what he says. He says agape.
Wow.
It's sacrificial.
Wow.
So when I'm looking at this thing here and said this mental thing, I've got to practice thought replacement. I've got to challenge every thought that comes up in my head. The thought that says, you might as well get somewhere and sit down. You can't do this. Why can't I? What do you mean? Oh, that'll never happen. Why not? When we learn to challenge thoughts, then we're creating distance from the thoughts that we've had that have contributed to us being where we are.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So we can't continue to give permission. Okay? We can't continue to give permission to things. Okay? To thoughts that we've had to just have free course and to run unchecked and unchallenged.
Jesus.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
You cannot continue, okay? Cannot continue to allow thoughts to go unchallenged.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So this whole idea of saying we need to make positive, certain and for sure.
Let's go!
Moving forward, moving forward, moving forward, moving, moving forward, moving forward, moving forward, moving. Never stop moving, never stop striving, never stop reaching, reaching high. You keep on rising, keep elevating, take the next steps of your life.
Moving forward, your future's waiting and anticipating. So keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on.
moving forward, moving forward, moving forward, moving, moving forward, moving forward, moving forward, moving. Never stop moving, never stop striving, never stop reaching, reaching high. You keep on rising, keep elevating, take the next step of your life.
Moving forward, your future's waiting and anticipating. So keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on moving forward.
And the truth of the matter is, most people will not notice the changes that need to be made because they are so subtle. He is not surprised by the need that exists in your life. He's not put off by the deficiency. He's not bothered by the discrepancy. He is not offended because of the stuff that you got going on. He's simply saying, I've already made adjustments. I've already made allowances, rather, for you to become what it is that you need to become. All I need you to do is to be ready to make the shift. And the truth of the matter is, most people will not notice the changes that need to be made because they are so subtle. He is not surprised by the need that exists in your life. He's not put off by the deficiency. He's not bothered by the discrepancy. discrepancy. He is not offended because of the stuff that you got going on. He's simply saying, I've already made adjustments. I've already made allowances, rather, for you to become what it is that you need to become. All I need you to do is to be ready to make the shift. The truth of the matter is, most people will not notice the changes that need to be made because they are so subtle. He is not surprised by the need that exists in your life. He's not put off by the deficiency. He's not bothered by the discrepancy. He is not offended because of the stuff that you got going on. He's simply saying, I've already made adjustments. I've already made allowances, rather, for you to become what it is that you need to become. All I need you to do is to be ready to make the shift.
Hey guys, Paul D. Landrew here, and I want to remind you about our Power Words call. It happens every morning, what we call Consecration Week, at 6 a.m. It's about a 18-minute call, and basically all we do is talk about a particular power word. This week, we're talking about the power word transfer, and it really gives us the notion that there is a transfer that happens. That transfer really sort of makes time look like eternity. It brings about a continuity, a contiguousness, and a continuousness, continuing of the things that are going on in our lives. And so if you really want to start your morning right and start it early, get a word. We have brief prayer, but we want to develop principles, drop them into your life so that you can use them in the practical areas of your day. That's the power word call. It happens at 6 a.m. in the morning. It's only about 15 or 18 minutes. You do that, and I know you're going to be blessed. We look forward to seeing you there. 712-432-3022 with an access code of 624491. Once again, that's 712-432-3022, access code 624491. I know beyond the shadow of a doubt that you are going to be blessed when you tune in to the Power Words call. So we're looking forward to seeing you right there. God bless you.
Let's go!
Moving forward, moving forward, moving forward, moving, moving forward, moving forward, moving forward, moving. Never stop moving, never stop striving, never stop reaching high. You keep on rising, keep elevating, take the next steps of your life.
Moving forward, your future's waiting and anticipating. So keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on moving forward.
All right, guys, welcome back to Forward. I am your host, Paul D. Landrew, and just excited It's been a wonderful discussion so far. And here with Minister Marilyn Haynes, and we're talking about relationship. It's Relationship Wednesday. And one of the things that really what we've done is that we've allowed ourselves, Marilyn, to really just get to focus on interpersonal relationships, and not really getting ourselves ready for relationships.
Absolutely.
But you know what's good? You know what's good right here? What's good right here? It's good because we start off in Genesis, right?
Absolutely.
Everything begins in Genesis. We started with Abram, with Adam.
With Adam.
Okay, now we're talking about Abraham.
Yes.
What's good about it is that the principles we're talking about work with people who have a history of relationships, and for people who don't have a history.
Who don't have a history of relationships, and I think that is the beauty of it. So no one's left out.
No one is left.
No one's left out. It is, if you're in the middle of a relationship, be it personal, be it professional, be it social, the relationship with yourself.
Yes.
You understand? You can practice these principles. You can put some spiritual distance between you and you. You can put some mental distance there. You can, again, as we go back to the top, you can isolate yourself from yourself. You can create some distance from yourself.
Oh Lord, have mercy! Not from yourself.
So if you don't have any other physical person that you can practice these principles on, the first person you can practice them on is yourself.
Is you?
Is you?
Wow.
It is you.
Wow.
Because remember we talked about, especially when we were talking about mental and memory. Memory is magnetized.
Okay.
So sometimes it's you and the memories that you have, the history. Remember.
Right.
Again, distance yourself from that.
Wow.
Remember we said challenge every thought.
Challenge every thought.
Practice thought replacement. That's distancing yourself mentally from yourself.
From these
because
things.
Normally this is how I think.
Wow.
Normally this is what I do. You understand what I'm saying? But
exactly.
I'm going to challenge that. I'm going to challenge my mental time. I'm going to invade the avenues of my thought pattern and put something new in there. Put some distance between it. And I promise you, on that journey right there, you'll definitely go far.
And this thing about it is because folk want to be people who are prepared.
Yes.
To have relationship, whatever the relationship is, and because everybody gets focused on their boo and they get focused on their this and focused on their that. No, you want to be a good coworker.
Yes.
You want to be a good church member.
Yes.
You want to be a good civic person.
Absolutely.
You want to be a good club member. You want to be, not club. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm talking about. Community stuff.
Absolutely.
You want to be somebody who is viable. As a person, and when you're viable as a person, then it means that you have worked on you.
You have worked on you. And when you spend that time working on you, no matter what relationship you walk into, because you've put the work in isolation.
You put the work in.
You've put the work in
Wow.
in isolation.
Wow. Okay.
When the
Yes.
relationship shows up, you
Yes.
show up for the relationship.
Yes.
You're bringing a new you. You're bringing everything you've practiced.
Wow.
You're bringing everything you've learned, and now you get to watch this, test everything you've gained thus far.
Because I put up here and I'm drawing a model, and the model has a road, and the model that I saw in my head puts a break in the road, and the break in the road is a vertical break, and what it does is that it looks like you're coming to an intersection or crossroad, and simply what I heard is that as you're traveling the road, sometimes you got to drop out of sight. Wow, to go deal with yourself.
There's a pit stop and a bush in your future.
Sometimes you have to drop out of sight.
Wow.
You hear what I'm saying?
Yes.
You got to drop out of sight, okay, to work on you.
To work on you.
Okay, that's something I heard years ago. That if you're always available, okay, if you're always available, okay, if you're never unavailable, you're not worth anything when you are available.
Ooh.
That's what that's what it meant. If you're never unavailable, is that you have to put some time in to work on you. And what people have to understand is that for the folk who you want in your life to be strong in relationships, you must allow them time.
Wow.
To work on themselves.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Okay? Learn to allow the people whose relationship you value, okay, time to work on themselves. That's the thing about it. Because not everything can be developed in your presence.
Ooh. Now that's good right there.
Huh?
I like that.
Not everything, okay, can be developed in your presence. And that's where people have to understand this thing, that when you allow folk to go and have that isolation time, allow people to have some time to where they can reconnect and they can commune and they can find out and get substantiation and validation of who they are. When you allow that to happen, you go to a whole nother place.
Wow.
You go to a whole nother place. So we talked about
That's good.
spiritual and we talked about mental.
Yes, sir.
Last few minutes left, about 10 minutes left. Let's talk about now emotional. Ooh.
That's a big one right there, Dr. Lynn.
That's a major one right there.
Yes.
Right there.
Fred said this is the big one.
That how do you create, watch this now, emotional distance? That's
Help
a question.
us.
You wait for me to say
Yeah. That's not a question. That's
Okay.
leading into instruction.
Is that what it is?
Information.
Here's the deal. The emotional piece, okay, really involves sentiments. It involves feelings. Okay. It involves an attitude. It involves a view. It involves a response.
View in terms of viewpoint.
Viewpoint.
Okay. I
Yeah.
just wanted to make sure.
Right. Viewpoint.
Okay.
And it involves a response. Okay. So my emotions. They're my sentiments. They're how I feel. It's attitude towards something. It's a viewpoint towards something. It's a response towards something. All of that. Okay. All of that is where it comes in. Okay.
Wow.
All of that is where it comes in. Now here's the deal. Here's the deal. Okay. Here's the deal. Emotions, when people are emotional, okay, it typically says, people look at the negative emotions, that means they're out of control.
Okay.
Okay. Out of control. Which means there's no management. Okay. Okay. People say, well, I snapped.
Yes.
Okay. I went off. Okay. All of that's understandable, but you were out of control
Yes.
and there was no management.
Yes.
Okay. Typically, if you're going to really deal with your emotions, okay, the first thing you're going to have to look for, watch this now, the first thing you have to look for is logic beyond yourself.
Look for logic beyond yourself.
Beyond yourself. Okay? Because Spock on
Here we go.
the you know what I'm talking about, Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He was logical. So he didn't experience emotions. Because his idea was to be logical.
Absolutely.
When I discovered that I am tending towards out of control, I
You're so
realized
nice.
I'm entering a place where there's no management.
Wow.
I've got to find a logic beyond myself. Okay?
Jesus.
I've got to find a logic beyond myself.
Mm.
So Once I look for that logic beyond myself, okay? Because emotions, people have been saying this since I was a kid, pressure busts a pipe.
Every time.
Okay? So once I find logic beyond myself, then I've got to look for a channel for expression. Because if my emotions refuse to be contained, then that means they want to be expressed. So the question is, what's the channel for expression?
Yeah, but we normally identify some channels that don't deserve the expression.
But that, again, logic comes before identifying the channel.
Thank God.
Okay. You hear what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
This falls in order now. Because
Absolutely.
you're right. It's this thing of saying, well, look, I'm here and I'm dealing with this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm dealing with this,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm about to go off.
Right?
Well, what does that mean?
You really want to
No,
know?
I don't know. I don't. Yeah, that's a rhetorical question. I'm not really looking for a response. I'm just simply saying, what does that mean?
Got you.
Okay. Now, here's the deal. If I can come up with saying, what does that mean? Then if you tell me, well, I'm about to go get my gym shoes and I'm about to run 5 miles, and we'll say, you know what, this is exactly what you need to do.
Wow.
Okay. Well, I feel like breaking up some stuff. Well, now let's think about that for a minute. Once everything is broken, then what? So now, if you can tell me what you're going to do after you break up something, beyond feel better. Okay, because that's momentary too. Because that's a feeling.
Absolutely.
That's an emotion.
Absolutely.
So I want to know after that. Then I want to know what's your plan for the consequences of breaking everything up. Because you got to have a plan. So it's logic beyond yourself. It's a channel for expression.
You're taking the fun out of
Taking the fun.
emotions. You're taking the fun out. That's like that organic cotton candy you were talking about.
But do you see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because where I am is to say, the person has to say, look, there's got to be a logic beyond myself because I'm trying to distance myself from something. I'm trying to move with this relationship. I'm trying to move on.
Yes.
Okay, I'm trying to go. This didn't work. People folks have told me, I'm a victim of church hurt. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, because really and truly, there's no such thing as church hurt.
Repeat that, please.
Okay, there is no such thing. I know I'm gonna get all kind of respect. I'm in trouble right here. As church hurt. What we call church hurt is what people did to us.
Uh-huh.
And we get that from the notion that we are the church.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if that be the case, then I have to go back to where the term church was implemented.
Come on.
Upon this rock,
Come on.
I'll build my church.
Come on.
What rock? Not Peter,
Come on.
but upon the premise that you know who I am. That you have a right identification with me. And that you are able to accurately and adequately represent me correctly before the world.
Wow.
I'll build my church upon that premise.
Correct.
So the right, proper, adequate representation of God before the world didn't hurt you.
The person did.
The person hurt you.
That's good.
Okay?
That's good.
So now I'm trying to get past some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This emotional thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, Adam had no historical relationships. Abraham did.
Yes.
God asks Abraham to manage your emotions.
Wow.
Deal with your sentiments, your feelings, your attitude, your view, and your response. Follow my instructions. Stay close to me. You won't be out of control. I'll never leave you. Therefore, you never have to worry about managing yourself. When things get tough, stay with logic. And there's always a channel for expression.
For expression. Wow. That's good. No, that's good. That's good. I mean, I don't even know, but I'm so glad that you even addressed the you may say it's just a small soundbite at the end or whatever, even the church hurt theory, because it's major.
It's major.
with where we are. I
major.
remember preaching one time and saying, basically the exact same thing. I'm saying, but you work with these same people every day, but you only can't deal with them. But they're the same way at your job,
Exactly.
at your house.
Exactly.
They talk the same. They act the same.
Exactly.
You feel the same way about them, and you never leave home.
Exactly.
You never quit your job.
Exactly.
You never stop going to the grocery store you go to. None of that kind of stuff. But the first thing you do, y'all do everything together.
Right.
But it isn't until you get to the house of God, then automatically what they've always been doing, and you've always been dealing with, becomes church hurt. And it's like, no, it's a person. It's the person.
It's a person that did that. It's because upon this rock,
Absolutely.
upon this proper, adequate, correct identification of me,
of
who
Jesus-
I am.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Is the
Upon that, I'm okay.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Upon that premise, I'm good. And the gates of hell, and the gates shall not prevail.
Shall not prevail against it.
So the idea is that once we can get past that place,
That's good. That's
of knowing
good.
who that is,
That's good.
we can move from there.
I love this information offering today, especially coming out of Genesis 12, for those of you that we may not have given the scripture to, because I really want our audience community, our forward community, to take the time to really read that. Look back at the principles that we've given about isolation and creating distance, and then breaking down distance from the spiritual to the mental, and we touched into the emotional. Challenge every thought. If you go back and look at that, and then put yourself in Abram's place, put yourself in there, identify your lots, and use these guidelines, relationships will change, even the relationship that you have with yourself.
Even the relationship that you have with yourself.
Beautiful.
And I think that's the part where for us, and we'll obviously pick up here next relationship discussion, because that creating that distance, that understanding that God wants to call us into a place of isolation, call us into a place of intimacy, so He can give us instructions, so we can move forward and understand there's a promise, there's a prediction, there's a cause and a consequence that's associated with our lives. And if I can reconcile that with myself, I can move forward.
Absolutely.
And I can do some wonderful things. Beloved, listen, thank you so much. And this is the first day of our YouTube expression. And we're working out the kinks. But you know what? I want to challenge you for something. I want to challenge you to not be afraid to what I'm going to say is to work some things out while you're publicly having to perform.
Oh, that's good.
Because if you wait until everything lines up, and if you wait until everything really puts itself in order, you're going to discover that it's going to be extremely difficult to get anything done expeditiously. Some stuff has got to be executed, and it's got to be worked out while it's in progress. Some instructions you can't get till you move. Some lessons you can't learn till you launch. And so you got to do that. And so if you're going to have a relationship that is really going to be based on something formidable, you got to learn how to press your way forward and learn as you go. I want you to know we're delighted, we're humbled that you would take this time and share with us today. And we're going to be right back here on tomorrow on YouTube live, and then we're going to be at Gospel Radio Talk, Gospel Radio Nation. You can download, you can listen to us, and we'll look forward to seeing you then. Take care, and we'll see you on tomorrow.
Let's go!
Moving forward, moving forward, moving forward, moving, moving forward, moving forward, moving forward, moving. Never stop moving, never stop striving, never stop reaching, reaching high. You keep on rising, keep elevating, take the next steps of your life.
Moving forward, your future's waiting and anticipating.